Strap. Remember earlier on, I was kind of calling for Navi to possibly be able to gatekeep this bridge, but instead of gatekeeping this bridge, it looks as if Navi kind of sent it down to the south of the island, so they're going to be playing this one a lot safer, trying to avoid those early skirmishes. Very interesting play, but we might have a potential fight over here on this bridge after all, because now Nova are going to be trying to drive on through here.
Oh man, they're going to be having a clear pathway for sure, because HTG as well is trying to play for their survival. We do see Solid's kind of closing his distance, but again, it shouldn't really be that big of a threat for Nova. So far now, things are going to be looking quite calm. But as I mentioned, Fenerbahce's position definitely kind of in the, they're like right in the center of the zone as well. And Godlike now going for that late rotation in the southern circles. Now, if you talk about West Side, Dave, we do know Navi is one of those teams that do like to go for those late rotation in these military-based circles, and it never pans out for them.
So we'll definitely keep tabs on them here in game number one. I'm looking at Godlike too. I mean, we kind of glimpsed of Godlike. It looks like they were trying to be a little aggressive, but that was up against A7, so we'll have to get back to that one. Looks as if both teams kind of backed off from each other for the time being. And that's kind of the story that we are seeing for a lot of these teams here early game, is that they see each other and then try to back off. They don't want that smoke. But talking about what that smoke, the boating, yeah, the failed boating out there on that west side of the coast. So Navi, they did bridge camp, but they are doing a good job at trying to pick up whatever type of elim points they can out there on that coastline.
Oh, dude, Navi definitely just beaming him out the water, man. Unfortunate, the boat just blew up at 6-8. Not going to be happy after that, losing 2 players already inside the game. Definitely going to be having those sad faces. But yeah, Navi, I do like the huge improvement that Navi has shown. They're already on the military island. They're kind of looking good. Takes you all the way on the south side. A huge separation, but still, they have a lot of time to work it out. Rotation out in the open, taking little shots from Nova. Nova as well, making sure that D Xavier not going to be stopping by anywhere near.
Looks like Nova Esports is going to be picking up a nice little compound here. 3-1 split. They got 3 squad mates out there on that west side. And straggling in the back line over there. They were taking some shots at D Xavier as they did casually pass by on that high ground. For the time being, though, it's all about getting these early game positions, especially with this military-based zone. And you were looking at Fenerbahce. They were somewhat dead center. Next circle is going to shift here very shortly. Let's see, will it play into their favor? Stalwart Esports, too. I like that spot all the way up there at that radio tower, the highest vantage point here. Will it pay off? We'll find out right now.
Oh, it does. It does. HTG and Fenerbahce right in the center of the zone. Fenerbahce having the majority of the center, but again, the split is good, but if even one of the players gets bought out, and even if he gets taken out, that's going to be quite a huge task for Fenerbahce to go back to that player and get the rest back up. So I feel like at this point in time, they should be a little gathered up. Maybe a 2-2 split can work out pretty well.
One out here trying to defend here on the clip lines. Team Secret looking like they're going to pull up. So far it's a 2-2 split, but the other 2 squad mates in the back line trying to group up. 5 shots though. Mini in, applying that pressure. Here we go. First fight, first 4v4 of the game.
Oh, here we go. A kill over a found jumper be taken out. Instantly gets confirmed as well. Fredo has a little bit of disadvantage down low ground. He gets taken out as well. And now shots. Oh, he's taking some shots on the left side. He needs to watch out because Juni has a huge advantage. Also with that high ground, and shots doesn't really have a good positioning, just as that we could work with, and gets blown to smithereens. Just like that now, he's been taken out of the game, and that's going to be it for Team Secret. Eliminated, Dave. The first team to get eliminated in the first game.
Wow. Yep. I don't want to. One of the teams definitely showing up here from their region, cashing out, looking to continue trucking along with that momentum. And we were looking at Godlike a couple moments ago as they were crashing out there in the distance. Looks like Alpha 7 might have caught a whiff of the squad back here. They're going to be sitting there flag right now on the beaches and the terrain. They are looking to just stay back here and get these elim points. Looks like they've camped this one out.
Oh, they have to. Because, I mean, A7 clearly knows that they have the prime positioning inside this fight. They can just try to hold on godlike. But that's a beautiful knockout found in the A7 involved. Four rivals just making that rotation. They were like, all right, this is our right moment to go in. And they just sneak past through Alpha 7. Alpha 7 with that knockout down, kind of fought. No time for godlike to make that push happen. And here we do have Clutch God as well falling down in that push.
Wow, Mario, what a great anchor position.
Push.
Wow, Mario, what a great anchor position. They were in the back lines, pretty much playing oversight of their three squad mates that were pushed ahead. And it looks like it paid off. But let's see though, Jonathan went that wide rotate. Now he's going to be inside the smoke.
Deviant now might be question mark.
See, that's disgusting. Both the teams have 3 players knocked out, but unfortunately, godlike. They're only left. Trying to secure the vehicle, making sure the tires aren't being popped off, but get shot from the back, and here comes the push from next to it.
Little window overshot it just a little bit. Does look like their teammate was able to pop into their compound, looking to get that revive. And here comes Knoxball with the support here. Looks like the revives were successful on the next Rhea. Let's see though, Knoxball has a lot on their plate. They need to clutch this one out.
Oh, they third party this one out, but third party from Stalwart Esports. It's Pika who takes out Knoxball. Duke and Machine again, Pavilion. These 2 players alive. Duke and Machine, we do know what this man is capable of. He can pull off some insane clutches, but again, he's kind of like that man who likes to stay as squad as possible, but that beautiful nade is going to be taken out. Pavilion is also getting burned down with that Molotov. That's not a good sign for Fenerbahce. Things are slipping out of their hands.
Yeah, next round they were able to get the full reset over here. 4 squad mates, a pretty solid compound. This building, this area, dead center. Let's see, Duke Machine back against the wall, getting collapsed in. Alright, now European hit. No chance. No chance right there. Next Rhea, taking that compound from Fenerbahce.
Uzi's just too good in those close range. He's an absolute shredder. That drop shot as well, just in the mix. Oh, it's just kind of like a sprinkle of salt on top of it. But yeah, now we have Nick Galaxy, another one of those teams that I am definitely eyeing out for. Nova as well, having pretty decent positioning inside here. Hamoudi in the front lines, Nova. King and Powerboy just trying to hold them off a bay.
Really do enjoy what Nova Esports have been doing this whole game. With these splits here, so now they're going to be separated for the time being. But not one, still out here just destroying the edge right now of the play zone, hugging it. 5 limp points so far in this game here. Necro, talk about starting strong. That's exactly what they're doing. And if I'm not mistaken, that's pretty much the same story that they did during the East Final Championships. They started early with a chicken dinner and 19 limp points over there in those finals, and from there they just maintained it. So if they can get that same start here, not one, we might be looking at a possible championship top 5 team.
Oh man, the next circle shift's gonna be such a huge thing, Ryan's gonna move it out of the open. Trust me, it is, and yes it does. And now the only teams are in, they have a couple confidence on their name, but they're only going to be the lucky ones. Dominant Gaming seems like they're just getting absolutely demolished by Na'Vi, because Na'Vi has huge high ground. With the high ground, they've also gotten a huge advantage over Dominant Gaming. So Dominant Gaming, they will need to try and take care of Na'Vi if they want to make it out of this tricky situation, and for that they will need to find another knockout. That will buy them enough time, but the name from Dixie will keep sunk down.
Ooh, they need to clean this one up quick too if you're not wrong, because you are about to be pinched from Nova Esports from behind, so hopefully they have their head on a swivel and they don't just get sandwiched here.
Oh man, Dixie's still just looking to inflict pain, and I do also see Nova closing their distance onto them, and yes, Nova is looking to third party this entire situation. Paraboy in the front has an 8 cooked up, and this nade might just be $1 million nade, but no, instead it was a little underhand. Just kind of understandable, did not really make it up to the mark. 4 is still locked down for Dominant Gaming, including Junie. Fabian, I can just imagine this man's nerves right now. They're probably rattling, and just like that, Dominant Gaming as well getting eliminated.
Done. And Na'Vi, they do have the high ground, but they also have that little dip in the terrain up there that's really helping them keep their sightlines low from Stalwart in the back line. But after that one push, they were able to get a couple of limb points, and they started to pull back because they recognized that there is another threat downhill. And that little dip that I was just talking about, it might be their demise actually, because Stalwart, they repositioned, and now they have sightlines on that dip. So Na'Vi, nowhere to go.
No, Na'Vi, definitely nowhere to go. They did get themselves decent amount of limb points, if I'm not wrong, from that previous fight, but still, now, because the circle moves out in the open, they will have to move from cover to cover, and just like that, not enough cover, indeed, and Nova gonna be catching little glimpses of Na'Vi. Xavier as well, if I'm not wrong, it's just gonna be it. He's trying to survive for as long as possible with those meds, but not gonna be able to make it for that long. Mela gets his game spawned from the back, and it's gonna be Xavier who does that.
See ya. 7 teams to go. Nova Esports, we can see right there, 7 limb points. Stalwart Esports, 6 limb points. So Nova, they've been playing that west side. Stalwart Esports has been playing that east side of these zones. They're about to meet here very shortly. I do see Top, I do see King, kind of up close and personal with each other. But right now, the main focus has to be this next circle. Where will it go? Who will be favored? I'm looking at next reel. They got a compound. Will it be favored? If so, they're going to have a huge advantage.
Oh man, but still the circle out in the open like that, and now favoring next reel as well. Kind of favoring, not really. And not only do they have a couple confidence on their name, but they're going to be the lucky ones. It seems like they're just getting absolutely demolished by Na'Vi. Na'Vi has huge high ground. With the high ground, they also got a huge advantage. They're 5 rounds as possible. Those men not going to be able to make it for that long. Mela gets his game ball for the back. This is going to be
See ya. 7 teams to go. Nova Esports, we can see right there, 7 limb points. Stalwart Esports, 6 limb points. So Nova, they've been playing that west side. Stalwart Esports has been playing that east side of these zones. They're about to meet here very shortly. I do see Top, I do see King, kind of up close and personal with each other. But right now, the main focus has to be this next circle. Where will it go? Who will be favored? I'm looking at next reel. They got a compound. Will it be favored? If so, they're going to have a huge advantage.
Oh man, but still the circle
वेस्टर्न पूरा पूरी की पूरी वेस्टर्न टीम
भाई नोवा खा
प्लेयर्स भी फाइट लेने आ चुके हैं।
नोवा को खा गए लोग।
They have a very good contesting positions. They might just win everything.
Exactly, Starwood के पास बहुत ही अच्छी पोजीशन
my God.
उन्होंने दिक्कतें दी है, लेकिन इधर
भाई ST
मौके का S2G ने अपनी पीठ दिखा दी नेक्स्ट रूया ने इनको एंड
11 फिनिशेस के साथ भाई कॉप ब्रो दो टीम को ले गए लोग।
9 प्लेयर्स अभी भी जिंदा, S2G के भी प्लेयर्स मैन पावर
भाई क्या चल रहा है?
एक लौती टीम है जिनके चारों के चारों प्लेयर्स जिंदा है और 11 फिनिशेस के साथ अभी इस
भी नहीं पिक कर रहे कि थोड़ा सा पिक्सल्स में कहीं पर दिखे तो जस्ट ये एक इंफॉर्मेशन बट स्टारवॉट अगेन दे आर जस्ट मार्चिंग इनटू द सर्कल ताकि ये गेम उनका उसके पहला गेम स्टारवॉट 100% अपना बना ही चुके हैं इस समय। S2G के प्लेयर्स अब हम देखना चाहेंगे
एसटी बहुत अच्छा पोजीशन है, बहुत अच्छा। ये लोग आने ही नहीं देंगे, इसमें आने ही नहीं देंगे।
अब देखिए बस एनर्जी ड्रिंक्स का मजे
और चारों जिंदा है, मेन बात ये है।
हमें जरूर रहे Again, they are just marching into the circle ताकि ये गेम उनका उसके पहला गेम स्टारवॉट 100% अपना बना ही चुके हैं इस समय। S2G के प्लेयर्स अब हम देखना चाहेंगे कैसे फाइट लेते हैं बिकॉज़ इट्स अ 4v3v1 जिसमें निकमा गैलेक्सी के हमोदी अब देखिए बस एनर्जी ड्रिंक्स का मजे यहाँ पर लेते हुए नजर आ हमें जरूर रहे हैं। In the first game, Will, a brilliant winner chicken dinner coming down to them.
14 फिनिशेस के साथ ही चिकन डिनर स्टारवॉट ने निकाला है और क्या शुरुआत बट मिलिट्री आइलैंड पे नजरें डाली है। नावी इन्फिनिटी के साथ ही उतर रही है। पहला गेम
बोला था
अरे गया बे नहीं आने देगा डूड बढ़िया खेली बे स्टार
ले लेते एसटी
द एडवांटेज 9th आई
अच्छा एक्शन ले
ठीक है। वो जो फर्स्ट थर्ड जोन में जो स्पीड लिया था ना एक हरामी लोग में भाई तभी दिख गया था 30% जोन का, वो भी फाइनल्स के डे 1 में। बहन क्या चल रहा है भाई? ये लोग ने नोवा को कैसे वाइप किया मेरे को वो देखना है। अभी चलो हो गया विनर विनर चिकन डिनर हो गया। 30 किल बोला था, 30 किल बोल रहा हूँ, 30 पॉइंट चिकन फर्स्ट गेम में। तुम्हें
I mean, for a start game, that's absolutely not bad. And if we talk about late rotations again, I mean, Godlike making the same kind of mistake in these kind of southern zones, you always got to be with those teams that are pretty quick to rotate. If you're not able to do so, you're just going to be held back, and that's what exactly happened. Alpha 7 was just hammering the pain into them.
Yo, what? Shout out to everybody watching right now, by the way. PubG Mobile Global Championship Grand Finals. You tuned into the right stream. We got 17 more games to go. Stalwart coming on top right there. At this zoom, they are going to be getting a massive point lead. Not only the point lead in the #1 game, but also a confidence booster. We don't talk about this a lot, but that stress, right? Just imagine the stress levels on all these teams. For them to be able to come into this lobby, the most stacked lobby of the year, and come out on top, that is phenomenal. Ladies and gentlemen, that was game #1. Let's hear what the desk got to say about this first game. Over to you.
You know what we have to say? I think Maxman was wishing we were doing predictions, not teams to watch, because he gets a prediction right. But let's be honest, boys, the guys from Mongolia coming in, taking a chicken dinner with that many eliminations, they've proven they've shown up to play.
Yeah, I mean this is the reason why you have to look out for this team. They survive until the very last minute as a 4-man squad. They got themselves 14 eliminations on the very first game. They came to play here, Seth. They came here to play big time.
The way they were able to eliminate 4 rivals. I mean, 4 rivals that they were trying to pass that bridge, and Star Wars Esports was just able to hold that ground, hold that bridge camp, and then as soon as they were able to do that, the next circle popped up and they moved right away. So their communication is on point, and this is something that you you were telling me, right? They don't miss in regards to anything. I was actually really surprised too that how they were able to beat Nova. I thought maybe King from Nova was going to be able to surprise them a little bit. That backfired. King said, you know what? Let me just double take that. No, I'm going to go back, and he didn't even try to challenge it. Ultimately, he ended up hurting Nova.
See, I think for me, the most impressive fact about Stalwart is the fact that this is a team coming from Mongolia, right? We had Zeus Esports last year come in 3rd place. But you have this team who has really no international experience go into the global championship in the league stage and surprise us. But then to go into the finals and do something like this in match 1, they're saying to every team out there, like, you want that $1.5 million? You got to come for us. You got to come through us if you want to get it. And we can see here, 29 points in match 1. That is a phenomenal start.
Yeah, we were talking a lot about this also, right? You had some teams that did maybe poorly into the league stage, did really good into the finals. Yeah. This is part of the few teams that got themselves to 3rd place in the league and also in the league finals for the Eastern region. And that consistency is definitely paying off. I had a chat with Senator, the coach of the team, and he said we're going for that 1st place, and Dodoy, of course, they're going to go for that 1st place with that 1st performance here.
And 7, I think one thing to keep in mind of is the amount of teams we did see S2G and Navi come in from West, able to perform when they need to here. There's a lot of questions around West if they can compete with East, and we already see 2 teams able to do so.
Yeah, I mean, with S2G, I was even mentioning that's one team that definitely has championship caliber for me. The way they're able to play, the way they're able to be patient, and the way they were able to kind of control that circle there too. Same with Next Ria. I felt like Next Ria positioned themselves. I felt like Next Ria positioned themselves.
He said we're going for that 1st place, and Dodoy, of course, they're going to go for that 1st place with that 1st performance here.
And 7, I think one thing to keep in mind of is the amount of teams we did see S2G and Navi come in from West, able to perform when they need to here. There's a lot of questions around West if they can compete with East, and we already see 2 teams able to do so.
Yeah, I mean, with S2G, I was even mentioning that's one team that definitely has championship caliber for me. The way they're able to play, the way they're able to be patient, and the way they were able to kind of control that circle there too. Same with Next Ria. I felt like Next Ria positioned themselves. Sadly, it didn't end up working out ultimately because they ended up losing before Alpha 7 went out. But overall, it's at least some elims and some points that are going to count those.
The important part, though, for me in that is that Godlike are showing they're not afraid of any team, right? They're going to go up against Alpha 7. They're going to fight against pretty much one of the best teams from the West and be able to do a decent job. And Jonathan showing he still has an all-star power.
Yeah, they were just ready to go for the full push into Alpha 7. It was very impressive. Jonathan able to get a somewhat clutch towards the end. He was able to get Neo back on his 2 feet, which was a really good play. But I think that, of course, this is a team that, because they don't have that international experience for a long time, the more games they're going to have, the more experience they're going to get, and they're going to change and adapt extremely quickly. So this 1st game, they're going to adapt, they're going to tweak things, and they're going to come back into the next wrangle even stronger.
Okay. Well, what about maybe some teams that maybe let you down? Not in a super negative sense, but like, for instance, Damwon, they were our finals champion of East. They didn't perform too well there at the very end, but they still had a decent showing. But it's not the team that we kind of would have expected after the results from finals.
Damwon is an interesting one on this game because they were trying their best to go for the swim rotation. They were trying to avoid the bridges, which is understandable, right? Because you have so many teams that have as a speciality to hold the Western Bridge or the Eastern Bridge. Here they just tried to go for full stack, swim over, and unfortunately doing so, you just lack information. They went right into Navi, right into Nova, and it just went downhill from there on out.
In regards to teams that actually didn't perform that well, I want to talk about Team Secret. They ended up losing to Damwon. I felt like their rotation, their push towards Damwon, it was just something that I didn't expect out of the team. It looked sloppy. The way they were able to rotate. Even one of the players, he decided to push in with a buggy. The buggy pretty much ended up going over the hill as well, and it put him in a position where he wasn't able to fight. You can see him trying to jump back in the buggy, maybe being able to shoot from the passenger seat, but nothing worked out there for Team Secret.
Yeah, but it is just match 1. And Team Secret luckily do have 2 players who have played in every single final so far yet with Ice Shots and Mad Toys dating back to 2019. We'll talk about that a little bit more later on. We're going to actually do a little quick recap here. I'm not sure exactly what team it's going to be, but one thing I am sure of is you two are going to kill it talking about it.
That looks like the Kenny, man. I feel like I was like, bro, there's snow on the map. What's going on right now? But no, we're going to be having a little quick recap about what's happening so far. And the team I think we're going to be focusing on, we're going to see which one are we focusing on.
I think
now.
it's S2E.
I think
it's Stalwart.
Stalwart, yeah. Okay, so their usual drop is going to go into Nova. Of course, having that sort of knockdown finish from the very get-go made it a lot easier. You don't have to cross those bridges. No need to cross that river. You're going to have a very easy time to get there. But the one thing I love, Seven, and we talked about that extensively during that game, was how they were not willing to push that compound early on because they knew that was going to be hot waters. That was going to be super contested. Just hold the northern side, wait for the circle to close off when all the teams ready took that fight, and then you go for the push towards the end to get that win.
Just their timing right here. This is the main one that I wanted to talk about. Just the way they were able to surprise 4 rivals right there, being able to execute that so well. And something that I actually wanted to talk in regards to Stalwart Esports is they ended up with 14 killings, right? When we go to their healing, they only had 14 healing, and we saw them take so many engagements. That speaks volume of their positioning. They're being able to put themselves where they want to be. They're being patient as well, but when they need to strike, they're definitely striking. So Stalwart Esports, I mean, after that one game, boy, I'm pretty sure a lot of people that are currently watching are going to have them as favorites.
So I think for me, Max, look at this, right? Obviously, they dropped in the perfect position for the way the zones did shift.
Yeah.
I think what's important to notice is that, yes, they had zone, but they were able to get so many eliminations. You see so many teams be able to have zone, but they just play it super passive. But we know Stalwart is not a passive team.
That's the thing I love so much, is that they knew exactly that that compound was held on by Next Korea. That was super valuable at the time. They knew especially there was a lot of teams who were trying to survive in the midi area that were going to push out. You know that you're going to get third party through and through every time going for that push show. Just go for the high ground up north, get rid of Nova, which they did perfectly. The execution on that was top tier. And then just, you have the last circle. Sure, there was a little bit of circle lock on that very last circle, but they could have breached it anyways, even if the circle went away from them. So they played their position so well. This is why I love watching Stalwart play so much, because if they have an opportunity to win a game, 99% of the time they are going to be able to convert that into a big win with big elimination points, which here they got 14. Big step up.
And I mean, just going off base what we saw there, I really wish King from Nova Esports would have been able to take the fight. That would have distracted them. I feel like the rotation, when they lost that high ground, it put them in a horrible spot, as we were able to see there earlier. So maybe with Nova, I would like to see a little bit more aggressiveness out of them when it comes to that kind of stage. If you see them, because King was going to be able to surprise them. They had no idea that he was there. I know they were probably being a little bit worried, but when you get out, are you really going to be willing to give up that high ground and then backfire like this? I think Nova Esports is going to be able to learn a lot from that fight.
I think the play for King potentially was just get involved. If you can get a little bit of damage, potentially knock or two, then have the rest of your team come in. But because they had the information on where King was standing and where the rest, of course, of Nova supposedly were remaining, they just went into the circle, held onto the more northern western side, and just kept the rest of Nova and won that fight super easily without putting almost any effort. So Stalwart just took that easy win at the very end. It was great execution.
Yeah, you're going to be rotating pretty much to their eyesight, so might as well just take that fight. And don't put yourself in a curious situation where you're going to be listening to high ground and you're not really going to know where they're going to be shooting you at, because they're able to just pretty much pop up, hide, move around, and be able to pretty much eliminate you.
And I'm looking at Stalwart, and we always talked about Infinity when it came to East League as being one of the most consistent teams. But if you looked at the results, right, of some of these teams, we looked at Dam1, they finished first in finals, they finished 13th in league stage. The Xavier finished second in finals, 14th in league stage. Stalwart finished third in finals, third in league stage. On the other side for West, Next Korea, first in finals, 9th in league stage. Navi, second in finals, 12th in league stage. Stalwart has been probably one of the most consistent teams we have seen across both of these little mini events we've had within league stage, and they're showing that they still have the consistency now going into the grand final.
I would not even say one of the most consistent, I would say the most consistent. Again, 2 third positions back to back in those 2 stages is really insane. But hey, they started off, as I said, I talked with Senator, they're going for that first place. They want to be that first place team at the end. They want to be called the world champion, and this is a really good start to doing so here, Seven.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be heading to a short break where we get things ready to go for our second match of the day. But don't go anywhere. We'll be back soon for some more PubG Mobile action.
I see drama, and I see it in the finest detail. Moments of inspiration, and the first steps. I am the 1+9.
Welcome back, everyone. PMGC 2021 is the grand finals. We're here in Berlin. We have players from all around the world competing to be the best team in the world and to also win $1.5 million. Just imagine going home, $1.5 million. Well, not in your pocket, technically. You have to split it between your teammates. But that's a lot of money. That's a lot that you can use to invest into yourself, invest into the brand of your team, maybe throw some over to your favorite analysts and hosts. Who knows?
You're thinking about investing? I'm over here thinking about just buying some skins in the game. I really want that Scar L. It looks so sick.
I think 1.5 mil would not be enough for me to get any skin. I'd just be so unlucky every time.
That does sound like your luck, to be fair. We are going on to the second match, though. It's going to be heading over to Miramar, and we've already had a little bit of a discussion while we were in the break, and a couple of teams we're looking out for here, in particular when it comes to maybe early clashes, Max. You want to go ahead and start off that topic?
I'm going to be looking at El Pozo. Of course, we had scrims and everything happening. Maybe those things changed, but I'm expecting maybe a final Pozo between Enigma Galaxy and Alpha 7, and we know that Alpha 7, they love those hot drops because they pretty much have hot drops technically that could happen on every single map. So intrigued to see if that's going to actually happen or not, because Enigma Galaxy, early fights, not really their speciality, so I think that they might try and avoid it as much as possible.
Another one to look out for that I know it actually happened, I want to add one to that list that you're pointing out, is going to be Next Rhea. Next Rhea usually tends to land there as well. They did end up changing it because they had so many engagements with Alpha 7 and Alpha 7-1, but I wonder if at this stage, more than likely not, but you know, I am being a little bit hopeful. Maybe Next Rhea will decide to land there and be like, hey guys, nice to see you again.
That would be funny, actually, but I feel like most teams want to avoid running into each other early on, especially in day one of the event. But I mean, we see here our damage dealers from the first match, and Action and Top both be making their way through, but as we saw, Order was the MVP. So usually, as I think it was Flores who noticed it during East League, is that like even when Nova was not the time, like of the teams who were in first place, we've seen Order step up and take a look at the limbs. I mean, this isn't too surprising.
Yeah, not too surprising. We're going to see Top, we're going to see Action being that. Their Scry typically is not the one that's going to be getting most of those eliminations, right? He's the one that's trying to set up initially Top and Action, but he's just had apparently great opportunities every single time. So while not strike, while
just like, you know what, I'm tired of you guys not talking about me. I'm going to step up. Not seeing Pika here this time, but Seven, really impressive stuff from Stalwart from Mongolia.
Definitely. I mean, just going back to what I was talking about earlier, for them to be able to get that win with the amount of engagements that they were able to have, for only have to heal up 400, that is just so impressive. I feel like it's a big understanding. I'm hoping viewers at home will be able to keep an eye on that, because that just talks about their position. If they're being able to put themselves, once again, just in a great spot, making sure they win those fights, and making sure some other teams kind of don't even want to fight them. Nova just decided not to fight that, and I'm still kind of scratching my head. But another team I do want to talk about is Navi. I feel like Navi played that so well. They were nowhere near their usual landing spot towards North George. They decided to drop right there on the military, and they did a beautiful 2-2 split. A beautiful 2-2 split. We were wondering, I thought at one point maybe they were going to just try to go to the bridge camp. They decided not to, but they were able to hold off a lot of teams. They were able to be opportunistic too, get some elims as well, and they were able to hold off damn son. Damn one. There you go.
Damn son. It was actually a really good hold, right? Because they had such a good high ground opportunity. Well, also, I believe it was maybe Tixie on the lower side. It was just trying to make sure that they were pinning down the entirety of Damwon. It was good execution, but unfortunately, that third party from Navi, from Nova actually made it just a little bit more tricky at the end. But good execution still from Navi, just got a little bit too hard there.
Yeah, a little bit difficult indeed, but they still have more matches either way. And before we can really drop into our next match, I want to give a shout out to Singtel, providing PMGC with Singapore's most powerful 5G network. And speaking of that, I mean, Navi, they're going to need that powerful 5G network because they have a lot of pressure on their shoulders. I'm going to call them out in particular. Seven, every time we ever talk about Navi going into these big international events, there's always so much hype around them. We always talk about how good they are as a team. And I'm sorry to say this, but they kind of always let us down.
I 100% agree with you.
I didn't want to
disagree. No. It's just always a big hype. And something that this team definitely lacks of, and this is something that we're kind of looking at before the show started, is this is a team that it's not really able to carry momentum really big. If they get a win, they're not able to end up backing it up with another win, or maybe able to back it up with the top 5. They're always, it's always a roller coaster with them. If they do pop off, they end up popping off. But I would love to see a little bit more consistency out of them, whether it's in regards to elims, whether it's in regards to placement points. I just want to see consistency and just carry momentum.
So would you say then for you, Na'Vi is your team to watch in this match?
100%. Because they were just so impressive. I was really, really surprised at the way they were able to play that last match.
Okay, so we got Na'Vi for 7 on the end. Seven, you're not 7, you're max man.
I'm 8.
You're 8. Who's your team to watch?
I mean, okay, I kind of gave up on 4 rivals when it comes to getting potential wins. But no, they're going to do it right now. They're going to make it happen, okay? I don't know when, but I'm going to go with this game. Let's go 4 rivals.
You're brave. I went with Solid Esports to see if they can maintain that momentum for the first match today. And speaking about maintaining things, we're going to maintain our casters here live, back on the air. Mustache Dave and Necro, take us away.
Damn, son, already number 2, game number 2, dropping in hot. Necro, Dave on the mic. Miramar, what a game number 1. Necro, though, already in the Miramar match.
Oh man, here we go. The Deserty lands in Miramar, and I do want to see what's going to be happening on such a massive map already, because we talked about some drop clashes coming in El Pozo, and well, 2 of the big teams out there, man. What are your expectations, Dave?
Yeah, we're looking at El Pozo, Ninja Galaxy, A7, and then Monte Nuevo down to the south next Ria. So there could be some early clashes. Not only that, Hacienda, right? Hacienda del Patron. I believe Gal like to go there, S2G like to go there.
That's a big one.
There's a lot of what ifs. I know we had practice, I know we had scripts, but the big thing is that was then, this is now. This is when everything matters. This is when it's all on the line. So with that in mind, can a team realistically afford to hot drop another team to risk the potential of getting 0 points here? That's the question up in here.
That's what got me thinking as well, because now we also know that you don't really have a lot of games to mess around with. You cannot just try out some new strats completely and then maybe, try and work things out. But no, another Southern Circle inside an app of Miramar. These are quite rare, Dave.
As rare as it gets. I'm just trying to soak it all in. Because we get circle number 1, there's some water in play, and yeah, this is Miramar, go figure. But up there to the north, I'm still looking. We got SD, we got 4 rivals, S2G, like all these squads are still hot dropping on each other essentially.
Oh man, they just don't care. They want the early smoke.
They don't care.
And well, guess what? Yep, I'm pretty sure they will probably get the early smoke. Unless the Galaxy just do not want to give A7 what they want. A7, of course, is one of the most aggressive teams out there, and they're not going to be backing up from a fight without any kind of they would at least want some elim points on their name to start the day off. And A7, they are out for blood without a doubt. H2G for now in Hacienda del Patron, they have gone to full control of that side, so seems like somewhere down line, Godlike has backed off from there.
Hit that subscribe, by the way. Notifications on. That's guaranteed. You can get it done. Shout out to all the viewers, by the way. I was watching a ton of people watching right now. A ton of people cheering for Godlike in the YouTube chat, and a ton of people cheering for Stalwart Esports. So I'm looking at. This game, though, didn't really play out in their favor, and I'm looking at Alpha 7 because I feel like game number 2 needs to be their game to really come back, I want to say, get that momentum, those juices flowing, so that they can play their confident play style that at least I'm used to seeing from them in that West League.
Exactly. I mean, if you talk about Alpha 7, the first thing that comes up in my mind is that aggression they show, and also the consistency that Alpha 7 in general have, right? They're just like one of those teams that do not like to back away from the fights, but at the same time, they do manage to get decent amount of points for themselves each and every single game. So, just quite understandable. Alpha 7, this is what they're known for, but I do want to see what exactly, what kind of things are going on for Godlike over here, because we did not see them in Hacienda del Patron.
Godlike, I'm not gonna lie. Last game, I was extremely impressed with that grenade from Jonathan. Jonathan went for a nice little rotate to wrap around their teammates to kind of get that off angle, while 3 of their squad mates were in the front lines, kind of taking that fight with Alpha 7. they did an okay job. But then you had Carrillo in the back lines playing Overwatch, and Carrillo was really able to put a stop to that push over that little ledge. And so all that pressure was on Jonathan, and with all that being said, Jonathan did come out on top, in my opinion, in that very challenging situation. So Godlike, man, Godlike have a ton of people cheering for him. They're at the biggest stage right now. They got a lot to prove. They got some teammates that do have that world experience, I believe the desk was talking about. If there was kind of that wild card to disrupt the lobby, and let me get your take on this, I feel like it's Godlike, right? Godlike can be that disruption to lobby. And the reason I'm saying that is because we had East League and we had West League. 9 teams from East League, they're playing here. 6 teams from West League, they're playing here. So those teams are kind of familiar with each other, if you get what I'm laying down. They kind of know each other's habits somewhat. So they have a big advantage when it comes to that. Who they don't know the habits of, they don't know the habits of Godlike. Yeah, you could have watched them, but you don't have that in-game experience against Godlike. So I really feel like Godlike could be that wild card factor with some of these teams.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just that one game slipping out of hands, it's fun, you can completely afford that one game. But as you mentioned, Godlike can definitely be that wild card factor. And if they are, it's going to be one of the one of the biggest storylines without a doubt. Godlike, they dropped over here. They did not want any kind of early fight, so I do like the improvisation coming in from their side. Water treatment is where they opted to drop out. So HTG as well, early rotations. A lot of teams, they do not want to waste any kind of time. Godlike, we are seeing them make those late game rotations happen, which is quite questionable. Most of the times they don't really work out, but maybe they have some kind of backup plan building through.
Not that, just looking at BGIS, Godlike, they tend to favor when they get into these skirmishes, kind of a 3-1 split where they got one of their teammates up in the front lines, really keeping that pressure on. Meanwhile, they separate their other 3 teammates to cover that one squad mate in the front line. So they got all angles pretty much covered. And I feel like that's kind of one of those new metas that we're starting to see. Alpha 7 kind of did that a little bit in the West League. It paid off big time for them. So I'm really cheering for Godlike and just their overall momentum that I have to assume they're feeling right now. They have to be pumped to be playing in this lobby. So Miramar. Okay, let's get into the game. Looking at all the players, we didn't lose anybody yet, so that's a good sign for the players here. Almost, 7 minutes into the game. A lot of early rotates. Anything sticking out to Necro? Anything that Necro sees is like, oh man, what's happening there? Or is this all things, another day at the office, big chilling?
I mean, one more classic thing that I'm seeing, Navi again, going for those late game rotations. This is what we're really known for. But yeah, as you were talking about that 3-1 split, now it's pretty good when it comes to the individual team fights, right? But if you get third party, now we casted the West Side, Dave, and we do know how many third parties happen in West Side. And 3-1 split, I feel like they're most vulnerable, especially when a third party happens. Especially if you have the one player separated out in the open, if he gets taken out, the rest 3 players, they're also kind of separated out from each other. And if you get third party in that situation, Dave, you're pretty much screwed.
Yeah, somewhat. And to me, it comes down to map knowledge, like knowing the terrain and knowing what sight lines you might be exposed to, right? Not only that, the spacing in between your split. As long as your spacing isn't too far from each other, for example, to add to your point, if one of your teammates gets knocked down, as long as that spacing isn't too far, you should be able to get the pickup, right? If you are safe to do so, of course. So that's another thing to keep in mind. And Godlike, just watching BGIS, a lot of the fights that they were in, they were aware of the terrain. They took these nice fights when they would push out in the open, where they knew for a fact what angles were covered, which angles weren't covered, and if those angles weren't covered, they had a teammate covering it for them. If you get what I'm saying here. So, Godlike, I'm telling you, I'm a big fan of Godlike. I am really happy that they made it here, and I think they could really disrupt this lobby.
Dude, I myself am a huge fan of Godlike. You know what they say, hashtag they'll say Godlike, and that's what I'm going to say as well. But yeah, for now, circle shift as well, kind of going to be moving down south again, a little bit tilted on the right side, which is completely fine. That means there is going to be a lot much more free compounds for other teams to try and take it. But yeah, now as you were also talking about the kind of like separation, you should not really be separated from each other a little too much. And I feel like for that is a perfect example has to be Stalwart Esports. I just like how they like adapt in each and every single fight, right? It's not like they don't separate a little too much in these fights. It's like they do that, but if only they have a clear knockout easy. Like if they're sure that they're going to be getting this knockout, then only they will make that huge separation happen. Unless they just try to like keep themselves separated, but not too much.
Yeah, Stalwart Esports, another prime example that we saw last game. Every time we would look at them, they either had a 2-2 split or they had a 3-1 split with action in the front line. And that reminded me a lot. We saw it, not to be too biased here, but from North America, when Coops got invited onto the Knights, that was exactly what they did. And that played out big time for him up to a certain point. But Stalwart Esports doing the same thing here with action. You got that front line gunner, the one that seals the deal. Just make sure that they stay alive. Not only that, but top always opening up these engagements. But talk about opening up these engagements. Yeah, Nox Pump. Dude, did you see that tracking right there? That was some dirt nap out here.
Oh, if I am the player dying right there, I'm saying, I'm yelling he's a cheater. I'm yelling. There's no way. You know, it's just, that's just me if I'm playing the game.
Damn, son. That's what I'm yelling. If I get taken out like that, like they were full pedal to the metal right there.
Oh, my God.
What a nice shot there. And this is Fenerbahce. Last game, we saw them. They got heated. They got crashed upon. Didn't work out in their favor. And if they would have won that fight, they would have came out big time because that compound was solid. So a lot of these teams, they're looking for that redemption, I feel like, in game number 2. All these teams are top-notch. They all have the skill. They made it here. They're here for a reason. But, of course, you don't want to get 0 points in the game. So I'm really looking for these bottom teams to perform here in this match to really get it going.
Oh, dude. Nextria, one of those teams, they won the West League, dude. Completely surprising all of us. And I do want to see now what Nextria they are going to be doing in the Grand Finals as well. They've been talking quite a lot about all the other teams. Nextria, one of those teams, I feel like we need to talk about them a little bit more, having players like frozen underneath your sleeves. And if, I'm going to hold on to my words for now. Again, Godlike being held at the bay. And this is what I really do not like. Those late rotations do not work out most of the times. And Godlike, again, being held off at bay. And this time, it's Stalwart Esports doing the same thing. But guess what? It's going to be a little third party from the side of Na'Vi. And, of course, it's the West team doing the third party.
Yeah, they're definitely going to lose one in this process. Godlike out there, but they're kind of catching a break because now Na'Vi going to be applying that pressure to Stalwart. So it is what it is, as these teams going to be up here in the north trying to outrun the blue zone, now closing in on them. Stole the kill, but the other 3 teammates of Godlike, they were able to successfully get on out of harm's way. They're still in their vehicles. They're ready to react to this next circle shift. Oh, as I said, Neo. Godlike. This rotation, man, it isn't paying out in their favor right now.
Dude, late rotations, I'm telling you, it's really hard to get those down. Late rotations most of the times do not really work out, but for now, Na'Vi, they're looking pretty good. Another one of those teams that do like to rotate pretty late, but in the previous Erangel game, I did like the adaptive nature from their side. I did like it was kind of like a huge change of pace that we saw from how Na'Vi played back in the league days, but now Stalwart Esports, that's a huge spray from top. You connect quite a lot of shots, but I also do see Delma Kenny going against HTG and the kill feed, but oh my god, gets in it barely made it on the other side of the edge.
And look at the different play styles here. Na'Vi, they see the next circle shift and they prioritize sending it, trying to get a better position in that circle. Meanwhile, Stalwart, they aren't worried, right? They're playing this one slow, they are relaxing, and they were able to get a couple shots out there on that Na'Vi rotate. And it just goes to show, at least to me, the confidence right now that Stalwart, that they have the ability to play slow, that they're not going to let these zones kind of dictate their movement. They're not going to let these zones apply pressure on the bigger picture gameplay here, game plan that is, that they are coming in here with.
Oh, dude, the game plan, as you mentioned, they're also going to be rolling out some like secret cards, I'm pretty sure, on the day too, and I cannot wait for that. Yeah, Team Secret now, quite close to the players of HTG. There was a fight going on between Down1 Gaming and HTG. A couple of casualties, we did witness those as well. Down1 Gaming as well, short one player. Same thing goes with H2G. Team Secret, do you realize in the front there is a team? They're also taking things quite slow. Stalwart Esports, again, they're just tailing Navi around.
Action.
Oh,
Down there. Oh. Tixie. Able to. Oh, look at that tracking, by the way. The gyro right there from Action. But yeah, I guess Stalwart Esports, you can also say they're a little more comfortable in this situation when I'm talking about that pressure from the zones, because they do have 29 points from last game. We can see the leaderboard right there on that right-hand side compared to Navi with 1 elim point from this game, so they're going to have 8. So that mental game, man, it is going to play a factor here for a lot of these players and their decision-making for sure.
mental game. Always an important factor. Big tournaments like this. And Action just trying to blow Tixie's vehicle. It pushed out of tires, so Tixie now will have to move out in the open, trying to pop in V, trying to dodge those shots. But not enough movement, indeed, and Top is going to be finding him. Tixie goes down. Tixie eliminated out the game. That's not really good news for Navi. Navi left with only 2 players alive.
And you can just see the concentration right there on top space as well. I think I saw a little sweat drip from their forehead right there. Like, that is how tunnel vision they are. I love the player cams, by the way. I love that we get to see their looks. I love that we get to see their grips that they're using. And just that determination. Next zone goes up, so hopefully they're a little more determined because they are on the opposite end. So Stalwart Esports, they are going to have the challenge to reposition now in this new circle that did once again favor the south and favor the water.
Oh, did you see the split from Infinity as well inside the zone? They had like all 4 players separated out, and as soon as they realized next 3 is closing in, they just retreated back. Now they have a 2-2 split. Both these compounds are being acquired by Infinity, and Infinity have the prime positioning inside the zone, including Enigma Galaxy. Now they can try and play this off as safe as possible, or else they can try and rack up some kill points that are the teams that are trying to make it inside the zone. Team Secret, though, pretty close to Furious Gaming. Or I guess I gotta say, Poppy Potro is pretty close to Team Secret.
Yeah, if there was a player that can really clutch this one out, Poppy Pocho is that player popping up with that UMP. Surprise! Exactly what they're saying. What I want to see now is some type of support, though, from the back lines. Maybe send one teammate down there in the front lines to help support Poppy Pocho, but it looks like the 3 teammates are going to remain up there in the hills playing that oversight position.
Oh, they're just the scouts right now. They're just giving so much information to Poppy Potro. They're kind of like they're his eyes behind the sightlines.
But look at Jumper. Jumper recognizes what angles are currently going to be occupied. He knows for a fact that the south, the wall is going to be the perfect cover. And Furious Gaming, the 3 teammates on the hills, they don't have sightlines behind that hill. And Poppy Procho, well, got caught slipping.
At HDG, they're just like, all right, don't mind us, guys. We're just making our way through. We're peaceful. We're friendly. Just got some free safe pathway out of that miserable situation. Yeah, now again, Furious Gaming, they have 1 man down. Poppy Pocho is a huge man, and you do want to make sure he's back up on his feet. Down 1 Gaming. Seems like they're charging up on DX Xavier. Lamborghini's position, is it compromised? That's the question. And I'm pretty sure it has to be at this point in time. Fabian just cooking up an 8. Wants to lob in right outside. Yep, it's just Stalwart Esports as well, rolling out on the sidelines, but I'm not really sure. I don't think so they're going to be challenging a fight.
No, they're zooming back. They're looking to reposition. They're looking to get into the circle. So, DX Xavier back against the wall. 2 squad mates right there trying to defend this compound up against 3.
Ducking back, opt out. Not a good news. Not a good news at all.
They do have the ability to play this one a little slow, but not too slow, because look at the circle shift. This fight is not in the next zone. And it looks like Frankie going to be popping in that Bucky trying to reposition. That could be risky. But Silas! Oh, Silas cooking the grenade right there, trying to toss that one out onto Pika, but Pika did not allow that to happen. Hopefully they can pick up Action, though, because look at this. Action crawling on their knees, but Action has that M249. squad wiper, so that can come in clutch. Next zone, once again, Nigma Galaxy, they picked that compound on the coast, and look at this. I have a feeling it's going to play out in their favor, because where else can it go? Not only that, it's on a main road, so you have to assume some teams, they might rotate on that main road for quick access, and look at that. Yes, they do get the circle shift, so Nigma Galaxy easily looking at a top 5 if they can defend their compound.
Oh, they're chilling. They're chilling big time. Unless they're just going to be witnessing a huge wave of teams coming in onto their compound, just trying to ram their vehicles right onto it. I'm pretty sure that's going to be happening in the future. For now, Xavier, Frankie being taken out, Lamborghini's the man. And certainly, this time is not as quick as his name. Instead, taking things a little slow, being as cautious as possible, popping that med kit as well. Just take it down to 70% of HP. Lamborghini, I do understand the only man alive, has a lot of pressure, but guess what? Strikes at the right time.
Only that, as a solo here on Miramar, you got a lot of dips, got a lot of terrain to work with to try to avoid any type of sightline. So maybe they could solo snake it and come out on top with some additional placement points. Fenerbahce out there in the distance. They are going to have to reposition here very shortly. Paramore, though, look at that. Another teammate on the field, M249 out there in the open, looking to get some nice shots on out. Well, Lamborghini did reposition. They saw the water, and they said, YOLO, sending it straight to the water. That's a good play, though. I like that play a lot.
That is indeed kind of like the safest route you can take inside these kind of zones. But A7. Looking to take out the man in the close, and it's going to be Kador from Nextria, easily being taken care of. A7 now, they also need to make it inside the zone, so the pathway in the front is going to be a little exposed, but it's fine. They've got the vehicles covering their back. Senatex and Mafioso, they're going to be making their way slowly inside the zone. Infinity as well. As I mentioned, they had a really great positioning until the zone moved away from them, but still they can try and hold off the teams that are in the back, including Nova, but Jimmy's the only man alive.
Yeah, still pretty solid position, though, all things considered. I think a little bit of it is in the next circle, and we saw they have those different levels of terrain to work with, so as long as they can make sure nobody surprises them from behind, it should be looking ahead, looking downhill, and as long as they have some vehicles to maybe work with, they are looking pretty solid, in my opinion, especially with 4 up.
Oh, they are looking really solid. Team Secret right on the edge, including Stalwart Esports. This game definitely not as good as expected, but Team Secret for sure. Even though they're hurt, they're not down yet. They're still giving a huge fight to all these teams in the lobby. 2 players alive. Shot should be back up on his feet in no time. A7. Carrillo taken out. That's not going to be keeping A7 settled. They need to make sure Carrillo's going to be back up on his feet. And Nextria is the one trying to hold him off at bay. Yikta going to be confirming the kill on to Carrillo. Barely alive on a sliver of health, but Yikta still charges forward, and he is getting taken care of.
Yeah, charging downhill like that. No real option because the next zone did shift, so that pressure, that pressure just added on top of that one. So Mafioso happy after that elim, looking to loot some crates, looking to get some additional meds, re-up on the ammo, and then pretty much reposition to Senatexa, who I believe has a pretty solid snaking position out there on that road. As long as they can avoid the sightlines from Nigma Galaxy, who have been, we have to say, they have been big chilling this whole game. What a position they called out, and what a position they claimed early on here.
Exactly, but I don't like the split coming in from Raouf. All the way separated out. I understand it's a 3-1 split, but still, in these kind of moments, you're not supposed to separate out, and that's what exactly I was saying. Because soon, there might be a lot of charge-ins, and Raouf does have the buggy underneath the water. But he gets spotted, taking a lot of shots. Oh, no. Steps out the buggy in the nick of time, but Infinity, here comes a charge-in through from their side as well.
I did like the Raouf play as long as they don't get taken out here, because to me that's like the insurance policy. You send one into the water because you know water's in play, and you make sure that they stay alive. Meanwhile, use your numbers to your advantage. See, we need to see Freak, we need to see Lord, we need to see them be putting in that pressure to make sure that insurance policy in the water does stay alive, and they weren't able to pull that off here.
Oh, not anymore. The insurance policy gets taken away from them. Unfortunate Team Secret, but still, Enigma Galaxy, they have the man advantage inside this entire situation, and they can always turn it into a victory. Unless, again, they don't make any kind of rookie mistakes. Team Secret, Shot's the only man alive, but all it takes is that one little mistake, and Shots will get a huge chance to try and bounce back.
Another huge game, too, when we're talking elim points for these top teams. Off 7, I saw 7 elim points. Enigma Galaxy, 8 elim points. So they were able to really use that position, that compound in their favor. As Lord going to be pulling up here. Grenade, cooking it, looking to toss it. Let's see, will it be successful? Oh, Freak also going to water. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, that's a questionable play from Enigma Galaxy. I don't know why they did that. Trying their best to take out Shots, and finally a nade connects onto Shots. As you mentioned, got him, a huge got him moment without a doubt, but now it's a 2-on-2 situation, and A7, they thrive in these moments.
They do. They do. Let's see, gets shot from the SLR. Now, just think about it. If they would have kept Freak alive, they would have had a 3v2 right now. But instead, Freak went into the water. Don't know why. Now they're down to just a 2v2, and this is Mafiosa and Senatexa, two of the most consistent players from the West League.
Oh, using that bus as a movie cover as well. I do like what Movie is trying to do here, but if Enigma Galaxy played things a little bit more safer, this wouldn't be the outcome.
Yeah, they're two grouped up.
Yeah, as you mentioned, 2 grouped up. There needs to be a little separation. There needs to be a little bit more info gathering, and I do like what A7 are doing. Senatex are trying his best to give as much as visual info as possible to Mafioso. Mafioso slowly and steadily sneaking around the ridge, making sure his presence isn't being sensed by Enigma Galaxy.
Exactly. Senatexa has that hard cover. Senatexa trying to keep these sight lines to make sure Enigma Galaxy stay pinned down. Meanwhile, Mafioso quietly sneaking up within grenade range. Enigma Galaxy are on top of each other. There goes one. Now it's up to Lord to clutch this one out. Oh, was able to take out Mafioso, but Senatexa full sending it right now.
Oh, the reply is there without a doubt, and as you mentioned, Senatexa full sending it down the line. He does have to favor him in those close range combat. Senatexa is not going to fall back, but the problem is Lord doesn't have HP favoring him, and he is trying his best to heal back up, but Senatexa is just a little too aggressive in these moments, and he will seal the deal on the final man of Enigma Galaxy. At A7, get that chicken dinner. Wow.
Let's go. Hey, did I just see you try to drop shot Senatexa? Nah. Not like this. Alpha 7. Winner wears chicken dinner in game number 2. And I gotta say, that split at the end, Senatexa covering the position from the high ground, Mafioso trying to get within grenade range, find that little dip. That was the game-winning play here. So, huge congrats to them, but also congrats to Enigma Galaxy. Ton of kills, ton of placement points as well, Necro.
Dude, insane game. 10 limbs from the side of A7, Enigma Galaxy as well. Some rookie mistakes being made, honestly. When they had that one man being taken out from that split, as you mentioned, the insurance, when it got taken away from them, I feel like they should have at least tried to stay to group up a little bit, but they should have also had a little bit of sense.
team that's usually really well at carrying that momentum. If they're able to maintain that, it's going to be huge for them.
Yeah, I think especially you have some players that are very hesitant to go to that first-person mode towards the end there, but going into that FPP moment in that 1v1 was just clutch. In that smoke moment, you're going to have that information first, and you're instantly going to be able to get in that spray mode. Good execution from Center Texas, feeling confident towards the end to secure the win. That's what we want to see in those finishing moments.
Yeah, and also
DBS.
Yes.
You know it. It's DBS
my.
fight in boot camp. Hell yeah. That's all.
I mean, the thing is, right? Do you legitimately think we're gonna have a hot drop though?
Yes.
Yes.
But the thing is, why would you risk something like that again with so few matches to be played? And you know, if you lose that one match, or you go out early in that one match, you could be ruining your chance to win a $1.5 million. So
Yeah.
Okay, so with Alpha 7, that's pretty much their
पर ये प्लेयर्स हमें उतरते हुए लाइक निग्मा गैलेक्सी के उतरते हुए नजर आते हैं। विल हैव टू सी। पाइनान हमें पता है गॉड लाइक की जो प्लेयर्स हैं उनका हमें पता है वो उसके अराउंड होते हैं, कुछ अलग होता नहीं होता वो नहीं पता, बट खैर नोवा के प्लेयर्स की बात करें तो वो हमें पाइनान पर नजर आते हैं। जस्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट शायद ऐसे इस बार जो हिल रहती है कैंप अल्फा के आगे वाली वहां नहीं जा रही क्योंकि उनको पता नावी दिक्कत देगी, तो 4 राइवल्स या तो जाएंगे ये प्लेयर्स डैमोन के ऊपर या फिर ये प्लेयर्स बाद में जाएंगे निग्मा गैलेक्सी के ऊपर, प्लेयर्स बाद में जाएंगे प्लेयर्स बाद में जाएंगे निग्मा गैलेक्सी के ऊपर। बट वेल, टॉकिंग अबाउट द फाइट्स, 4 राइवल्स ने धावा बोल दिया है फाइट लेने के लिए। कैंप चार्ली के अराउंड भी हमें टीम्स देखने को मिल सकती हैं। एंड हम लोग बात कर रहे थे कंटेस्टेशंस की। वेल, कंटेस्टेशन ऑलरेडी शुरू हो चुकी है। आप देख सकते हैं टिक्सी, उनको यहां से बच करके जाना ही पड़ेगा। दाउशी अगर भागते हैं और उनको स्पॉट करते हो, दाउशी को एक गोली चलानी चाहे, पैर में लगे टिक्सी तो डाउन हो जाएंगे। बट डैमोन और 4 राइवल्स वो लोग तैयार हैं फाइट के लिए। इन ऑल दीज सिचुएशंस आप लोगों को पता
Godlike, it seems like, again, a casualty on their side. Not a good sign. Definitely going to be a sign of worry for Godlike. And I do want to see how they're going to be bouncing back from this, because the position they have right now is definitely not that great.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying. Ooh, okay, that's exactly what was needed. A nice little knock there across the channel, because Jonathan is on the opposite end of this bridge looking to make a play. So looks like Neo and crew, the duo, trying to keep the eyes on them, right? Applying that pressure from that east side of the bridge. But look at this, Jonathan. Jonathan looking to make a solo play with the wide rotate. Jonathan, look! Talk about the snakes of Sandhawk. Talk about the snakes on Sandhawk. And ladies and gentlemen, we hit 1 million viewers. So shout out to you viewers out there putting in the work here, making this event a amazing moment. But back into the game. Jonathan, what happened? Jonathan, no, not what you want to see.
Indeed, not what you want to see, Jonathan. Wanted to make some insane play happen, but just did not expect the snake in the grass. And well, this is where Fenerbahce decided to bounce back inside this fight. And Godlike now left with, again, only 2 players to work with. Z-God going to be making the call to back off.
So Godlike, if I'm them right now, I want to keep the points flowing. I want to keep things going. Pull off this fight. Avoid all fights possible here this game. They're in a position that they can actually pull back. They could use the southern part of this zone to their advantage because nobody's back there, and they could swim. They could go to cave, maybe get some loot, maybe relax, catch their breath in cave. Docks are also open, of course. They don't know that, but with some proper scouting, they might be able to spot that one out. So if I'm Godlike, try to avoid the fights here, keep your duo alive. And if there was a map, Necro, and I think Jason touched on this a little bit, talking about RNG, I'm the opposite. I don't think Sandhawk is that RNG, right? Hear me out. Necro, hear me out.
I'll hear you.
The reason I'm bringing this up, I don't think Sandhawk is that RNG because I've seen multiple times players able to hit those heals. If you know how to heal on Sandhawk and you get all the meds, top 5, 3rd place,
easy.
Even 2nd place, 1000% doable. So I put it out there. I might get a lot of heat from that. I don't know. Feel free to add to it, or feel free to be like, you're crazy, Dave. Hey, it's in your court. It's in your court. But I'm bringing that up because Godlike, they can implement that strategy. They can hunt down all the meds. They can avoid all the fights and just heal or placement points here this game.
I do understand, but I'm going to add on to it a little bit, because we did see Nova taking a couple of shots back, Paraboy, throwing back down to the cover. Now, yeah, touching up on the point that you made, you think Sandhawk isn't really that RNG. Honestly, I'm with Jason over here. I really do think Sandhawk does bring quite a lot of RNG. And the reason why I'm saying that, now, if you keep the healing aspect aside of the map, I feel like even in the gunfights,
Sandhawk's all about healing. Sandhawk's all about dude. You just ripped my point apart right there. The only reason I'm saying that is because you can heal on Sandhawk.
But it's like most of the things are going to be going with the gunplay, right? Most of the things are going to be going how you're going to be rotating inside the zone. And just like what happened with Jonathan, you're going to be seeing a lot of snakes in Sandhawk. And this also means this brings kind of like RNG inside. And if
could this be the start of their Paraboy show? You know, Paraboy, one of the best players, hands down, in the game. And I'm sure a lot of people can agree with me. Nova Esports looking to really defend their title here. Paraboy, nice little knock right there with the UMP on them. They are going to keep that to themselves. So they're just going to hold it down for the time being and hope that Papa Blue continues to bless that. Looking for the solid placement points. Stalwart Esports also north of that current position. So we might have two Titans here clash very shortly. But besides that, it's a lot of individual plays here. A lot of individual knocks erupting all over the map.
And just to touch up on that RNG factor in Sandhawk as well, Dave.
Oh, he's coming back to it. He's coming back to it.
This is where I'm going to throw a curveball at you. 16 teams in the game. 16 teams in the game. One player from each team just doing a heal battle. That means he's going to come down to RNG, hoping that maybe pray to your God, that hoping that, okay, I'm going to get top 5. Just hoping. This means it's a RNG somewhere down the line, right? You're just hoping. All it comes down to is just a little hope. That means it is RNG. It is a part of RNG factor.
If you know how to hit the heals, man.
Okay.
I've seen it too many times. I've seen a team just go out, look for the heals, pass it off to one player. They've been practicing the heal strat for a whole year on Sandhawk. So I'm just saying, RNG, I took that. I threw it out the window on Sandhawk. And we are going to be playing only 3 Sandhawks. Sandhawk will make up 17% of the map pool here for PubG Mobile Global Championship Grand Finals. So I feel like this map in particular can really change the tides for certain teams that haven't been performing that well. And I believe they can do that by healing for points. I'm sticking by it, Necro. You can't change my mind, man.
Okay, dude. You know what?
You can't.
I'm just gonna give up. I'm giving up.
Can't.
I'm giving up. I'm just gonna let the viewers decide, and I'm just gonna let the analysts decide who are they gonna be favoring in this kind of a little debate that we're having. But yeah, Fenerbahce in the sights of Nextruya. Nox bomb kind of separated out, and he's also knocked out. Is the res gonna be possible? That's the question. If the res is not possible, Nox bomb being taken out, that means Fenerbahce only left with 2 players to work with, and in the map of Sandhawk. Oh, it's going to be quite tough to make it out alive.
One last thing to mention about that. If we see a player heal this game, get solid placement points, point proven. Easy as that. I'm going to leave it at that. We'll see what happens. That's how it works. We'll see what happens late game. If we see 1 or 2 players healing and they go from like a 10th place to a 3rd place, I'm dropping the mic. I'm walking away, and you owe me a sorry in the DMs. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it there. So getting back into the game, though, looks like Gala, they did swim to the docks. They did get some loot, and then they swam right back to Camp Charlie here. So we're waiting to see where this next zone goes. Look at the Infinity, though, all the way up there. They're in there.
Look at 628 as well, just taking their time in rotating inside the zone, all the way from the left side. They do not want any kind of smoke with any teams. Just playing things as safe as possible, playing for their lives. Nextruya just trying to inflict some pain on Fenerbahce. I mean, Fenerbahce are already crumbling down. They're on their knees. The Nextruya just want to wipe them out of existence.
Hopefully not too soon. 16 teams alive still on this Sandhawk match. 13 minutes deep. So you play for 13 minutes. You get taken out right here, right now. 0 placement points. Like, that is rough. And when we get past the mid to late game, oh, things are going to erupt. Paraboy, driving by in the coop, still alive, able to avoid those sightlines by a smidge and group up with their teammates.
Nextruya still looking pretty good in the position they found themselves in. All 4 players alive, also have a decent compound to work with. Now, what I'm really worried for over here is going to be Fenerbahce. And somewhere down the line in the future, if the circle moves pretty close to Fenerbahce, there's no way in hell Fenerbahce aren't getting charged on. And to hold the charge, to hold down the fort, Fenerbahce just doesn't have the man number. So this is where a little bit of struggle is going to be seen from the side of Fenerbahce. And I do want to see, are they going to be going for that sneaky play? This is what Duke Machine is really known for. Or are Fenerbahce going to be trying to fight back? But I'm going to hold on because Stalwart Esports, they might just be caught out in the open.
Yeah, I agree with you on the Fenerbahce point. And kind of looking at Alpha 7 here, I'm somewhat surprised that Mafioso did take those shots because looking back at Sandhawk, Alpha 7, they're a team, they like to lay down the trap on Sandhawk, and what I mean by that is they snake it out. They always have one player scouting the enemy, and they wait for the enemy to get past the initial front liner, and then they all pop up and hit them from all angles. So I'm a little surprised here that Mafioso did decide to kind of spoil that element of surprise here. But we shall see if it will pay off still, because Stalwart Esports are still going to be pressured out there on the edge of the play zone, and Papa Blue is slowly closing in right now.
Blue zone, as you mentioned as well, slowly and steadily closing in. Godlike, it seems like for now they are settled inside Camp Charlie. Again, now the med strat that you really like, Dave, At this point, Godlike can definitely try and go for that if they have enough amount of meds.
We'll see. You keep bringing up the med trap, man. I'm telling you, I'm right. Don't worry about it. All right, so Order out here. Oh, we saw Order right there in the kill feed. So Star Esports, Pika could really play spoiler because looks like Action going to be crawling up, and it looks like Action is going to be taking the attention of Mafioso, the one up there on the boulder. Just waiting to hit these shots. Oh, you know Action wants to take it.
Oh, of course he does.
You know
his name is Action. He's the man of action, and he wants all the action.
But look, the next zone pop. Next zone pop, so that's going to like change up this plan totally for Star Esports, who were possibly looking to push uphill slowly and take the fight with A7 up there. But now all those teams in the north, they need to send it down south somehow and survive.
Talk about Godlike, though. They're going to be having a huge threat lingering on their head. Because now Fenerbahce, they as well, it seems like they're having a little bit of casualties on their name themselves, kind of stuck on the bridge. But I'm going to hold on to my word because Furious Gaming, this might just be a huge breakdown. And yes, it is. Finding one. Poppy Potro looking to find the other one. And I just like the trigger discipline from the side of Furious Gaming to let them settle inside the vehicle. And when they found the right moment to strike, they did.
Very questionable play from S2G. 4 squad mates. Four squad mates in a Ronnie. I know the next zone was somewhat shifted far from them here, but 4 squad mates in a Ronnie. They definitely open up themselves to getting exploded on the complete elim. But Poppy Potra right there, I believe getting 2 confirmed, so that was beautiful.
Oh man, fights happening all across the board, including another fight panning out between Infinity and Na'Vi. Another huge fight. Kitsune, the only man left alive in that fight, but for now, we need to cover this one. 6-8. Man being found. The other man's just inside the house, trying to play things a little safe, trying to play for his life. He's scared to his death. Enigma Galaxy, they have a huge high ground on top of the players of 6-8, Dave.
Oh, that. You talked about Godlike. They continue to be favored in these zones. That is exactly what they need. The thing is, we still have 15 teams alive, so they are not out of the thick of it as of right now. Still 0 points if they get taken out right now. But Enigma Galaxy, hot off the press from last game, they almost got that winner chicken dinner. Regardless, you got 2nd place with a ton of kills. Let's see if they can continue on with that momentum, because right now they're trying to keep out 6-8.
Ooh, and they are able to do so successfully. 6-8. Man being found, knocked out. Unfortunate outing for 6-8. Again, I do want to see what the final man is doing for 6-8. I'm pretty sure he might just be going for the heal battle. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, he's all the way down south. It's Yu Yang. He's taking a sweet little time to rotate inside the zone. I'm pretty sure he's going to be meting himself back up. But Nova Paraboy being found. A huge man being taken out, and that's a legendary kill.
Yeah, it looks like Paraboy kind of decided to stay in the back lines and make sure that their teammates can securely reposition. We saw Order and Jimmy both in vehicles trying to get into this new circle. I believe Jimmy hugging that coastline, might even be snaking it right now, trying to avoid those sidelines from Nexria. We shall see if they can continue to survive here. 12 teams to go. Yeah. Jimmy, I like that spot as long as they're not going to be spotted.
As you mentioned, Jimmy's spot definitely pretty good. But again, as long as he's not being spotted. And also at the same time, he will need to leave the spot anytime soon, because the wall of death is moving right behind him. And he needs to make sure that he's making his mark inside the zone as quick as possible, because next Ria will 100% would want to try and hold him off at bay. So Jimmy, he needs to make his mark inside the zone. Things are getting so intense this late in the game of Sandhawk. Infinity as well, kind of locked out the zone. They're also taking a lot of damage from the wall of death. A lot of pressure on all these teams, man.
Looks like Jimmy's just going to watch that one elim point kind of slip through their fingers out there in the distance, but surviving is definitely better than that one elim point. So the Infinity out here, down here towards the south, trying to make their way on into the play zone. But first, they're going to be popping up, backstabbing D Xavier. At the end of the day, though, you got Next Ria kind of gatekeeping this whole side of the zone. I don't see any of these teams currently in the blue coming out on top with Next Ria still alive, pumping out those numbers, currently with 8 elim points to their name.
Oh my God. Just look at the circle shift as well, Dave. Out in the open, kind of close to Fenerbahce. Enigma Galaxy, they've already made their mark inside, but Fenerbahce, they have a huge pressure on their shoulders because we do see Nextria closing their distance from the back. Nextria will get this bridge control easily, but bridge control also means you're going to be exposed from quite a lot of angles.
Enigma Galaxy, aka the Zone Magnets here. The Zone Magnets, they know how to pick these spots. And down one, taken out right there. Enigma Galaxy, they got a second place last game. So they still got 4 up this game. Let's see if they can clutch out that winner chicken dinner that they were so close to acquiring last match.
Dave, but Jimmy can be the game changer for Enigma. If he's even able to take 2 players out for Enigma, this can change the entire tide. Look at how safe and look at how silent and how quiet Jimmy's being with the position he has for himself. He has a lot of info, and I'm pretty sure he's trying his best to hold the nerve for this gun. The zone as well, the wall of death kind of engulfing him. He needs to make his mark inside the zone. So much pressure on this solo man.
Got him! Oh, the Duke of Machine knew for a fact they were going to get taken out. Jimmy, though, yeah, to your point, could play spoiler, but remember, Jimmy's by themselves. So Jimmy will not have any help if they do decide to expose their position. That's why I believe Jimmy's going to be trying to heal up right now. Currently 5 teams to go. Enigma Galaxy with 4. Nextria with 4. Everybody else down to a solo.
Oh, man, Jimmy needs to move inside the zone, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be exposed doing so. And yep, as I mentioned, Freak spots a little glimpse, and that's going to be enough. Jimmy being taken care of, no one out the game. Top 4 teams alive, Dave. And this is where it gets a little bit more intense. Nextria taking little shots onto themselves. It's a 4-on-4 situation in here.
Yeah, 4 teams to go. Nextria, they are going to be tossing out some smokes to try to bridge that gap, get behind that hard cover of the boulder within grenade range. You're trying to connect these grenades onto Lord, who is doing the same exact thing. But look at over there on that off angle. Looks like Frozen trying to reposition. Breach is on their knees in a smoke. They're looking for that pickup, but this is going to be a solid 4v4 right here. And Moody, I love this spot. Talk about the intel that they're able to gather right there behind that boulder.
Oh, man, but the pressure's on Nextria without a doubt, because Enigma Galaxy, they just seem that they have so much confidence, also a little bit of high ground to work with, and they're able to turn it into a victory without a doubt. And now it's just down to the Infinity and DX Xavier, and they're just going for those heal battle. Okay, Dave, please, I do not want to hear it. I do not want to hear it, Dave. Just stay quiet, please.
Hey, talk about the heal. DX Xavier, Infinity. That's the strat, man. You're down to a solo. Just heal it out for these placement points. And it pays off big time. I'm telling you. Look at the points. They're going to shift so much on the overall leaderboard because the 3rd place is 10 points and the 2nd place is 12 points. So this is exactly what these 2 squads needed here for the overall.
Oh, man. Exactly what these 2 squads needed. And finally...
Oh, dancing.
Finally, the final man is going to be falling down as well. And yeah, Enigma Galaxy, they just know. Yeah, they're dancing at this point. Just throwing a little bit of moves as well. You know, just... yeah, this is just the victory dance right there, ladies and gentlemen. Enigma Galaxy are going to be your winners of the map of Sandhawk just in no time. He only has 2. Now the final first aid is going to be utilized.
Shout out to Freak right there. Enigma Galaxy, they got a 2nd place last game, a bunch of kills. They got 8 elim points this game, and a winner chicken dinner that nets you 15 points. Enigma Galaxy, they are straight slaying it here so far on day number 1. And with 3 more matches to go here today, I have to assume the team, Enigma Galaxy, their mental, their confidence right now has to be at an all-time high.
Oh, it has to be, without a doubt. I'm in the zone as well, as you mentioned, favoring them, and this is exactly the reason why they won. Again, I mean, Dave, here also kind of my point got proven, right? I mean, the zone got gifted Enigma Galaxy. All they needed to do was just make the mark in there. They did easily. All the teams that were outside the zone couldn't really make it inside the zone in time because there was just so many guys watching each other out, and Enigma Galaxy were easily able to conquer that game of Sandhawk.
The thing is, I don't know how much you can say it was gifted because now this is two games in a row where they picked the position very early on, they held it down, and they rotated accordingly. And then they just ended up with 4 alive late game. Like, there's just too much luck out there to say, oh, they're being lucky, compared to, like,
Until we do have our victor across the consistency at the top. We've seen Infinity do relatively well. We've seen the Galaxy do relatively well. Alpha 7 as well. But I'm telling you, at the end of the day, things will be shifted up. Yes. Not because I know the script, not
Let's fight together. It is showtime. Okay. Excellent work. I need a weapon. I'm out. Need ammo. Cover me! Awesome. I'm recalling a teammate. Thanks. Don't give up. Your teammates need you. I'm recalling a teammate. Thanks. Okay. Stay alert. Enemies ahead. Watch out! Watch out! Marked a location. Watch out! Watch out! Watch out! Stay alert.
Congratulations, you won toward to kitchen of any.
Marked a location. Okay. I got supplies. Watch out! I got supplies. Enemies ahead! Form up on me! Let's go! Search for vehicles. Let's go. Marked a location.
On me!
Marked a location. Watch out! Not a problem. Not a problem. Don't give up. Your teammates need you. Okay. Marked a location. Head toward this point. I'm recalling a teammate. Thanks. Enemies ahead. Enemies ahead. Enemies ahead. Watch out. Watch out. Watch out. Watch out. Enemies ahead. I'm recalling a teammate. Thanks. Let's go. Enemies ahead. I'm really sorry. Watch out! Okay. Marked a location. Okay. Watch out! Watch out! Watch out! Marked a location. Marked a location. Watch out!